Yeah, unfortunately the title isn't actually clickbait. I did break my neck 3 weeks ago in the bottom of A line, and if you're someone who goes big, steep or fast, I have some learnings to share with you. Not just, be a better rider, not crap like me and crash. So I'm going to go through what happened, the injury, the learnings, and what's next. I saw something on Instagram, and it's a little feature at the bottom of A line, and I thought, it's nothing, I could just hit that. So I turned to my friend and I said, I've seen something on Instagram, we should hit that, let's go. So let's show you what I was thinking of. I think a lot of you know this part of A line. It's right at the bottom. You've got the bridge, you've got the berms, there's that nice little hop there, but this has been built here, which looks to also be a hop. So I came along at quite a fast speed, and I thought, it's only 6 foot, and over I went to try and hop, and you can see, I think there's my tyre marks. So I was coming in, probably the same kind of speed as I would hit that. I came to here and sort of hit it but half braked. Now it doesn't look much from here, but if you wait there, and the park is basically closed at 7 PM and it's raining, no one's come down here, but look how far it is. My bike landed here. So what happened is I got a massive compression from this. I came up, I tried to keep on the bike. My bike of course lands perfectly to the left. I hold on, but then I fall here, head first. My bike goes over here. I do a lawn dart, which is where your basically head goes face first, I think probably into this rock. So as you can see, this is around 6 foot. It is probably bigger than 30 foot. To actually land there on the track is like 50. This is a feature you really don't want to hit. And then as soon as I got up from the rock, I sprung up, and I felt my whole arm was numb. I couldn't move it. So I carried it with one hand around this bush. And my friend said, have you broken your collarbone? I was like, no, I've got a numb arm. After all that, my arm started to come back. I went down and I said, oh, come on, guys, let's go and do another lap. They're like, no, absolutely not. Let's go and have a drink. So then for my medicine, I went and had 3 beers and I felt great. And I thought, I don't need to go and see the doctor. And I monitored it, and then 5 days later I got a massive arm pain, much worse. That's when I went to do a scan. So let's talk about the injury. So what actually happened to me? I was lucky. It's not a big injury. This is a relatively small injury in a not so nice place. It's on my C6. I've basically got a fracture down the back of my vertebrae. The nerve pain was really the biggest thing. It's been 3 weeks, the nerve pain has gone. Luckily, the inflammation has clearly gone down. So I guess lesson number 1 is...
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
Don't watch Instagram and think things are easy and make assumptions. Whilst on this approach, this doesn't look bad. I really, obviously in hindsight, don't know what I was thinking. So lesson number 2 is look at features. I know this. Watch yourself a bit. Cool things down. Try and be a bit level-headed. And if your friend turns to you and says, let's go and hit something I've seen on Instagram, go, sure, but maybe let's look at it first. Or, really now, like, it's early season, that can wait, can't it? So calm people down. So when I was down there and I clearly had a big accident, what did I do wrong? I got up straight away and walked, and I heard a really upsetting story recently of someone who watched his friend had a serious crash. He got up and did 4 steps and he never walked again. So what I would say is, if you're in a big accident, please don't move. If you see someone crash, tell them to stay still. And the first thing that was the giveaway for me that this was a spinal or close to a spine issue was I went numb. So that is a very good sign, and I would encourage people to say, do you have any numbness anywhere? Can you feel things? And if they can't, don't move them, for goodness sake, because like that story I just shared, that really is the difference between something that can be saved and not. And there's nothing, after you've had an impact, you've had it. That's it. Josh and Michelle and Tadil and a few others said, go and see the doctor, you've hit your head. Yes, I should have. I love snowmobiling, I love biking, so I'm not going to stop. Is there anything that could have been done? And when you have an injury like that and you've broken something and your doctor is calling the spine surgeon, all you are thinking is what if. And where I landed on is a neck brace, and that's something I quite like to talk about. And something is really strange with the neck braces, because you talk to people and they say, oh well, it could do more damage than it does good. And I literally had a doctor tell me, no, you should absolutely get a neck brace, a Leatt neck brace, and a nurse come along in the next 5 minutes and said no, it would do more damage. So let's talk about that. I went and looked at the Leatt website, and there is a 150-page study that they released on the neck brace. I'm going to link it below, but basically here are some of the numbers. One of the things that people talk about with a neck brace, and what I've always heard is, you're more likely to do your collarbone. So let's talk about that. There's basically 3 ways you're going to do a collarbone. You're going to put your arm out, it's going to rush up, hit your collarbone. You're going to do a side impact, or your helmet is going to, or another object is going to hit your collarbone. It actually protects your collarbone from those impacts, and the numbers are 45%. I'll put stuff up on the screen, actual stats, but it actually helps. And then the same FUD has been shared about it will damage your lower back. Again, that's disproven. It will help your lower back, and there's literally only upsides. So if you want to hear the scary numbers, look at the Action Sport EMS study, and go and have a read. I'm going to link it below. But basically, without a brace, you're 89% more likely to have what's called a critical cervical injury, like you injure your spine. What does that look like in numbers? It's literally the difference between 26 and 239. It's 9 times. And so whilst a spinal injury is unlikely, it's a lot more unlikely with one of those braces. And then the severity of the spinal injury is even more unlikely. And I'll put some numbers up on the screen. And then with non-spinal injury, so breaking a back, you can reduce or improve your odds by 75%, and that basically looks like 100 versus 700. And sadly, knowing all this, I've spent some time reading it. If you do read the case study, please read chapter 3. That's sort of the one which will give you the most value. But when I fell down there, if I was wearing a brace, I'm quite sure I wouldn't have a broken neck right now. If you are pushing things to an extent, there really is no downside to the neck brace. Please go and have a look into it. Please consider it and think about it, because the last thing I want is someone to end up in July now, early season, and unable to ride. It's far better to wear more safety gear and walk off. If you've done something similar, I'd love to hear about it. Please don't hit that feature. I'll list them out, things to think about, so you make sure you don't end up like me. Okay, thank you for watching. If you sat through that, really appreciate it. Hopefully see you on the next one, whenever that is. Bye. I've swapped one neck brace from the other, and I just wanted to show you on the side, this here is my collarbone, and as you can see, from there to there, it's clear.